Mamindi nkomo we ewo ahoma ne so emra ora edem sene no eye anti-corruption campaigner na anope mene no eni nkomo na me misa ne se baby a yaba bedre with the revelation on the public accounts committee no what should be the next way forward. Nzadam, if you can hear me, good morning. I trust you are doing well.
Good morning. I'm doing very well.
Very well. Thanks once again for your time. So the initial question I asked is that what will be the way forward upon the revelation we have received as a country upon such a termination, knowing very well that this particular policy did not go through and did not really sit well with the good people of Ghana. Yet we're finding out about the expenditure we have incurred so far about this same policy.
Well, I think that the first step is for further and better particulars, because the question is who authorized what payment at which time, under what circumstances. We had, as a people, we had fought this initiative right from the beginning. And so at no point was there agreement that this Ejapa investment deal should go ahead. Right from the beginning, I remember CSOs and the extractives, we had been to Ministry of Finance. They had done this presentation. We had asked them what was the basis of calculating the returns to Ghana. We're suspicious that the figures being given were not being given in terms of the value of what it should bring to this country. That the full figure wasn't being provided. And we felt that, okay, where are the assumptions? We never got the assumptions. And everybody, it was one of the rare occasions where civil society was united. Everyone was like, no, this thing shouldn't happen. So it is baffling to find out that as much as $12 million was paid for what, when, by who approved it, when the people of Ghana had not approved this. So we need to know the facts. I mean, just saying it that consultants were hired. Who authorized this hiring of consultants? What process was used to select them? It was used for, they are here, an office or something. Who authorized that an office should be selected? Who is the owner of that property? Why hasn't that house been re-rented and the money claimed back? Why did the consultants pay us back the money?
Okay.
These are issues that have to be addressed.
And who is supposed to answer this all-important questions?
Well, at the moment, the chief executive of whatever it's called,
the Minerals Income Investment Fund.
Exactly.
Okay.
Needs to explain to us how come all these payments were made when the people of this country had not agreed, when there was total chaos relating to it, how as much as $12 million could be released under these circumstances is baffling. So you have to provide the paperwork for us to know who was the one. Already the country, I mean, we've lacked these kind of resources. How did they find these resources to pay in a time when there was no clear contractual agreement or agreement that had been endorsed by Parliament, etc., on these kind of issues? So that's important.
But is it really surprising that when it comes to the general administration, or even so to speak, in terms of our governance structure, any time that we want to enter into a contract, some of this under dealings may actually happen? Is this something that we are seeing for the very first time, or it's something that has been happening all along?
It's not for the first time. I mean, there have been other such contractual deals where, because they are bilateral or multilateral, ought to have gone to Parliament. And then after the fact, we are being told, oh, these things were contracted, but Parliament didn't get the chance to review and make sure that they were good arrangements. But what's surprising in this instance is that this one, even before it was contracted, and that's why we need to find out. Because while the discussions were going on, it was clear that the people of this country didn't think it was a wise idea. You know, there are many others that we hear after the fact, that something happens and maybe somebody, leaks some information, then we suddenly know that this is the issue, and then Parliament begins to ask questions how the contract was done without parliamentary approval. But in this instance, there doesn't appear to have been a point at which anybody had agreed. Right from the beginning, we are aware that, a new arrangement where the royalties of this thing will be put into this, and it's a new way of doing it. And we wanted to see the figure right from the beginning. So this is much more surprising than others, because if you said you spent a few thousands of dollars on consultants, but 12 million, it's just shocking.
Very well. So what it means is that, per your explanation, is that we ought not to have gotten to this point, because even right from the word go, from the onset, I mean, Ghanaians entirely rejected such a policy. So there was no need for us to actually go into consultancy trying to secure how the policy framework and all of that might be at a time where Ghanaians are saying that no, with the kind of initiative you are introducing, we are not so much happy about it. So such engagement ought not to have happened in the first place.
That's the point. That's the point, because when the whole Japan thing came back, the idea, the arrangement, and then we got to know, people have been selected as certain kind of representatives, and the questions were, how were they selected? Because everybody in the sector, the extractive sector, said that, look, even the people who were very well experienced, none of them had heard that there had been a process. When we asked for the calculations of how much the country would get back, how they arrived at the ceiling that will come back to Ghana, we were very concerned, because they seemed no basis, it seemed very arbitrary. So we had asked, provide the assumptions. They had done a PowerPoint presentation. We said we wanted a copy of it as the assumption. They never provided it. And so we said from day one that this is very suspicious. It looks like somebody is going to rape this country, take advantage of the resources that are available, and so on and so forth. So right from the beginning, people were asking questions. So it's shocking to certainly discover that as much as $12 million, and that even an office was invested in. It's just baffling, So it probably means that, again, like other ones, they had gone far ahead
to make such arrangements.
Exactly.
On the blank side of Ghanaians.
Exactly. And that is very worrying. And that is why the chief executive will need to provide details, names, dates, approvals, who was involved, what were the processes. Because consultants are not selected without a process. There has to be a request for proposals.
Okay.
There has to be an open tender. People must have opportunity to say, I'm also interested. And ideally, it should have been open, said that even Ghanaian consultants would be aware of it. When was this done? Who did it? And then how was the value of the payments agreed upon? Who assessed that this is what we are going to pay them? When the office was selected, who was involved in that? Why was an office even picked up when processes had not been completed? Why did this not go to Parliament? Who was in charge? Because we have technocrats in every ministry who understand that when it's bilateral, multilateral, and so on and so forth, it must go to Parliament. How was that? How did we skip that to the extent that we have spent 163 million equivalent of money? I mean, it needs to be brought out, and it's a very unfortunate situation.
Now, Mr. Zene, my worry this morning as a Ghanaian has to do with the fact that now this whole thing is receiving some political twists and turns. Now, you hear the NDC tell you in a press conference held yesterday that should they win power in December, they are going to ensure prosecution takes place. Now, if we begin to have a conversation around the political games and then gimmicks, are we really going to see finality and the truth we ought to see as a country when it comes to these particular issues?
Well, now that PAC has already instructed that they are expecting better and better particulars, and yesterday I had a minister on Joy FM also saying, I think he's the chairman of something.
Yes, the minerals, the Mines and Energy Committee.
Exactly. that they were also going to ask for additional information to understand what exactly happened. This is going to be a burning issue. And I think that this government would do itself a lot of good if it sought to clarify and act on it without shielding any persons involved. I think it would be better than to wait for whichever government will be in place next. Because you see, this is the kind of thing that disillusions Ghanaians. It appears that our political elite are taking us for granted. It's just about getting there, raping the country, and then they tax us the more, and then all of us are uncomfortable. You know, and it's like they're in a world of their own, and the rest of us can struggle. It's a kind of an animal farm or a crime scene where crimes are being committed, and nobody is taking actions to properly investigate and prosecute and sanction those who are culpable, and that's a shame. So, in my view, if this government is serious, has integrity, they ought to be the ones to quickly get into investigation and ensuring that whoever is culpable is sanctioned.
And not wait for the NDC to come into office.
No. You shouldn't be waiting for anybody. And that just shows that, I mean, you are all part of the criminality that has occurred. And we don't want to continue this way. That trajectory is what has left us a country blessed with diverse natural resources. I mean, the last time I said lithium, I was like, wow. Countries don't even have one or two of these. We have so many. Manganese, bauxite, gold, oil, lithium. What have we done with all of this? And it's just the political elite who continue to play football with all of us. That must stop. So I think that if they are men of honor and integrity, they should make sure that this is investigated. Let's get to the bottom of it. And make sure it's not that you are waiting for another government, so that we don't allow this partisan kind of equality. I mean, that's not worth it. I mean, I believe that every government does have persons who have the best interests of this country at heart. Let's see the patriots in this current government ensuring that we get to the bottom of this matter.
Very well. Mr. Senator, I'm grateful for your time this morning once again.
And thank you for having me.
All right. And Mr. Edem said anti-corruption campaigner speaking to us on the eve and then issues bordering a Japa deal, no, and the revelations are about on the Public Accounts Committee. Quite a worrying situation, he put it. And that is that 17 gone past 8.